Hello everybody and welcome back to CADS. We are here to talk once again after a loss, after some refereeing controversy, after some bullshit that we probably shouldn't have to talk about, but we are going to have to talk about. I mean, we've all felt our blood pressure rising, it's all been going up. But Charlie early on said something very important to me. And Charlie, what is it?
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. We're just gonna go like that. Everything from now on is fine. Whatever happens, everything is fine. Okay, gents.
Charlie, have you been drinking?
Actually, I have. It's funny you should say that. I actually have.
Hey, Austin's got something as well.
I think it's denial. The denial phase.
Oh, dearie me. Okay, so obviously we're going to have to talk about a couple of things tonight, right? There's obviously the Fulham game. Let's start with the Fulham game. Let's just see where it takes us. Let's genuinely, with our little CADS podcast, what's the point of planning everything? It never goes the way we expect it to anyway, so let's have some fun and chat it through. Gentlemen, the Fulham game was better than I thought, but the result was, not great. The performance I thought was better. We're still at bare bones. We're still having to make do with what we've got. We have another injury. We get 2 players back. We lose another one. Djed Spence is now out with a calf strain. But are things absolutely irredeemable right now? Marcel, what do you reckon?
Well, you say that it wasn't as bad as you thought. I thought the first half was probably as bad as I've seen all season. It wasn't just a poor display. It was poor display, but with square pegs in round holes. I mean, what on earth is Archie Gray doing a left wing back? I mean, maybe on the training field he looked okay there, but in a real life situation, I mean, they were targeting him. You know, it was unfair for the lad. So the first half, I'd say no, but the second half there was an improvement after the changes were made. And the one positive I would pick up from the game was that Tudor seemed to have recognised who wasn't working right, and he pulled those players off, and the ones he put on actually made a difference. Now that's a huge change from Thomas Frank, who would pull the wrong players off and then put wrong players back on and make it even worse. So there's a glimmer of hope there somewhere.
Yeah, old Frankie boy did have the habit of killing all momentum we had built up by subbing the players who were doing well at completely the wrong time. Ash, you're having a good old giggle. What did you think?
Well, it's fucking summer over here, so that's kind of like. Hey, Charlie, I got one of those sleeveless shirts on.
Yeah, buddy.
One of your face.
Guns out.
Okay, so if we lose on Thursday, which I, obviously hope.
Oh, we're going to get to it. We'll get to Thursday. But how do you feel about yesterday's game? Thursday's an entirely different topic of conversation.
No, if we do, Charlie, do we still reach out and call old Harry and say, "Hey, Harry, what are you doing?"
I don't know. I'll probably end up getting to that at some point.
All right. By the way, I didn't get up for the game. 6 o'clock. Well, getting up at 5:30 to watch the game. I went, screw it. If it's any good, I'll watch it later. So I didn't watch it, but I certainly know what went on.
So that's 2 people we know who weren't up for the game: Ash and Radu Drăgușin. Austin, how did you feel?
Well, I missed the first half.
That was very good, Stu.
I was
So
working.
did Radu Drăgușin. Yeah, go on.
And I went to my daughter's for the second half, and I was watching it, but I was also talking to my daughter and son-in-law, so I wasn't completely involved. But we just looked poor until Matty's Tell came on. I thought Matty's Tell looked quite good.
Yeah.
And Papi Matasar adds energy to the game.
What about that the left back, the Sousa? How did he look?
Sousa.
He actually doesn't look bad. I'd like to see more of him. I'd like to see him play a whole game. I'd like to see him involved with some of the other players and see how they interact with him, because he looks like he's got confidence, which the rest of the team seem not to have.
Well, give him a few matches, he'll be back. It'll be like osmosis.
Yeah, we'll beat that out of him.
We'll get that confidence out of him.
Yeah. Hey, what did you think?
Yeah, it was more of the same awfulness. I guess hopefully, like Marcel says, he's learned something, and doesn't rely on the names of the players and just picks the guys that are best for the job. And the plays out of position thing really bugs me. It creates when you're starting off that way, you know it's not going to be good. I felt for Archie, but Archie, what's wrong with Basuma, Archie, and Sa in the middle? Actual midfielders, energy, passing, and somebody to break up play. Like it doesn't seem like rocket science to have them actually do what they're supposed to. Positives is obviously the subs, and we've got Richie. Richie's got the dog in him. Nobody else has that dog in him. So hopefully, he makes some hard calls for the better of the team. But that first half, they could have scored any amount of goals. Actually, they had the freedom of the park, and it's a small pitch. They keep saying it's a small pitch, but it was only a small pitch for us. It just shows the discontinuity in the team, the lack of cohesion, and that spaces occur when people are not in sync with the press and who they're picking up. It tells you what a mess we are. And thankfully, all the other teams lost, but it was an opportunity missed. If we had picked up points here with everybody else losing, and we go into the next few weeks with a little bit more confidence. But at the moment, it's looking bleak.
Yeah, that was the silver lining of the day. Everybody at the bottom lost. So there were no further adrift than we were. But we've still got games coming up that are winnable, and we'll talk about that later. But Charlie, what did you think about it? Did you get to watch, first of all?
I mean, where I was in Italy, just like the Wi-Fi was just so poor that I got like fits and spurts of the match, which was, the only thing that could have possibly made it worse, to be honest, was like a bad feed. It was just awful. At least I didn't catch most of how bad it was. I just picked up most of what it was, what everyone else was saying afterwards, which was just like, Tudor was supposed to be brought in so we can get this big bounce, and clearly, of course, Thomas Frank. It was Thomas Frank's fault that that these players are so bad. I'm starting to believe now. I mean, you start to have to just like try and make it all make sense. I'm starting to believe that. I mean, these players haven't played well for 18 months at least together. They don't know. I don't think they even know how to play well. What it feels like to play good football anymore. And obviously, going from one guy who was completely, just such a nice guy, Thomas Frank, to, you've got Igor Tudor, who is like, Ming the Merciless. He's just, he's
that's brilliant.
So, he's so draconian. He's so like draconian and Transylvanian, and all these like, he's such a bad dude, and I'm willing for him to do well, and you'd think these players need a real kick in the ass, but I just don't think they know which direction to kick their asses in, and it just it doesn't look good from any angle, and there's no players coming back. These guys are marooned right now, and they are. These 12, 13, 14 players have to somehow not only, find 10 points out of those fixtures, which is so ridiculous to think, like we're in this situation, but also, go and play a Champions League last 16 and probably have a good chance somehow of actually beating them. And then, it could be the most ridiculous season. So I think I, like other people, are actually envisaging what it would be like to have Spurs drop down. And I'm sure we'll get into it, Stu, but this is just like years of neglect coming to roost at this point. And to be honest, I hate to say this because I love Spurs so much, but that's just what you get that's just what you get. That's what it is, and that's there's no hiding that. We're seeing now the the years and years of one guy. It seems like one guy thinking he can win everything with data and equality, and I just think that right now we're seeing that that he has just abused our club, abused it, and it's probably going to walk away with a fairly hefty chunk.
Yeah, one thing that Charlie was saying about the quality of the players, the only thing that I would say in their defence is that on certain European nights, they've looked like a different team.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but you can't equate the Premier League to Europe, and I think we're seeing now just how different, how different the German league is to the British league. I mean, Dortmund was ridiculous.
But I'm talking about how they actually could put passes together, even how they seem to be running around, opening up spaces for each other, making themselves available, which they don't do in the Prem. Furthermore, we lost the game, but we put 3 past PSG. We couldn't even get a shot on target against Fulham in the first half. I mean, where's the logic in all this? What is spurring them on in Europe that doesn't exist in the Premier League?
We must have had a shot on target, because I looked at our XG at halftime, and our XG at halftime in the game against Fulham was higher than the XG we had in either the first match or the first match against Chelsea or the first match against Arsenal. The whole game, it was 0.1 or something like that. So
no, it was Dragus's clearance that went on target.
There you go. That'll do it. Is that all it takes?
He cleared the ball and it went to the keeper, and they said, well, I guess that's
worth 0.12.
Yeah.
Oh, dearie me.
I thought the BBC that said only 1 shot on target the whole game.
No, Palhinha's shot at the end in injury time, that was on target. It got blocked, but it was on target.
Yeah.
Even the BBC hates us.
Clearly, yeah. So from my side of things, I thought we started okay, then they scored, then we had a little patch again, and then they scored again, and at that point things just went very, very badly wrong until the subs came in, and yeah, it just didn't work. There are lots of things that didn't work, but again, I think Tudor's come in and he's playing catch up with so much stuff, right? He's playing catch up with mentality, physicality, fitness. He's playing catch up with actual just basic attacking setups, right? And then we've got so many players who are out injured. You can now add Djed Spence's name. So many players are injured that we're just bare bones right now, and we're not going to get anybody serious back, I think, until the 11th of April.
Cody's back.
Which may be too late by then.
Cody's back.
No, is he? Is he?
No, he will be back.
No, not for Thursday.
And he is the captain.
He's not back until the Liverpool game, and frankly, it would be a good idea to not play him in the Liverpool game to make sure he's not suspended for the Nottingham Forest or Sunderland matches. Because if he picks up a booking against Liverpool, he's out for the following 2 matches.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
He is. He is. Austin, what have you got for us?
Oh my God.
I love the fact that the manager had a right go at the referees afterwards and said he was a homer referee. I think it's about time one of our managers absolutely laid into them, because that decision on Sunday was ridiculous.
Yeah, actually,
I agree.
I thought the heads went down after that, didn't they?
Yeah,
they did. Yeah.
The recent memory of the Arsenal game, and then that heads just sunk, and we didn't do anything after that. I mean, I think psychological damage that decision did to the team. Now, I'm not saying we would have played well, but it just made it worse.
Yeah, we should talk about that decision. That decision was awful. We have seen on several occasions this season, if you put your hand on the back of someone it can be a foul or it could not be a foul. They really need to make their mind up what they're doing. They need to have some guidance on this. But VAR is supposed to pick up on obvious and unseen errors, right? So how can you have 1 week where Kolomwani puts his hand on the back, doesn't push, but puts his hand on the back of Gabriel, who then takes a flop? You know, how
he
is
didn't
that a
take
foul?
a flop, Stu. He took a fucking dive.
Yeah, it's a flop.
He
Yeah,
flew
he took
into
a
the
dive.
air and landed on his face.
Yeah, he took a flop. He flopped. So
Clear foul. Clear foul.
clear foul, apparently, according to VAR. No problem. There's no problem with the referee calling that. But it seems that VAR is just there to back up what the referee says if he's made a decision on the pitch. And that just seems crazy to me, because you've got to have some kind of consistency, some kind of standard. All right.
There we have a problem with VAR. The VAR as used by football is wrong.
Yeah.
In rugby, it's used as a tool by the referee as an extra pair of eyes to make sure he's seen everything correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, in football, it's used as a tool to say, ref, you were wrong. And they're reluctant to do it because the people who are running it are fellow referees.
They're mates. Yeah, they're their friends, they're their buddies, they're their mates. They get together and they have nice little piss up at the referees' conventions. You know, then the chances are they're not going to ask them to overturn their decision very often. Right? So something like that, it really, really bugged me. I'll be honest, it really pissed me off, because we were not doing well, but we were in the game at that point, and our heads absolutely dropped when that happened. Okay. And how many times is it going to happen this season? Right? We saw Ekitike actually give a proper shove to Romero when he was in the air, right? And it was a very nice header. And I think, frankly, Romero should have been stronger. Okay. On that occasion, I thought, yeah, Romero should have been stronger. I can see why they've allowed that. But then last week, Kolomwani on Gabriel, and that wasn't the only problem we had between Kolomwani and Gabriel last week, but that one, it was such an obvious dive. You know, was it a Fewsbury flop? Is that what it was? That what dive was called?
Fosbury flop.
Yeah, Fosbury flop. There you go. So he took a dive, and it went their way, and the VAR went, yeah, that's fine. Referee said he's seen that, so we're going to agree with it. And then this week, but two hands shoved Radu Drăgușin, and he falls over. And yes, he was a little bit slow getting up off the turf. You know, maybe should do some of that goalkeeper training where you're down and straight back up. But he got up, but he was out of position and could do nothing to stop the shot on goal. And it was probably his man that ended up taking the shot. It was just an absolutely awful, awful decision, right? And it's not the first time we've seen it this year. And there's got to be consistency. There's got to be some kind of line that gets drawn and says, this is a foul. You put your hands on if you put your hands on someone and push them in the box, that is a foul, right? If they say that, that's fine. But it seems to be left up to the discretion as to whether or not the referee thinks, oh, that one, he should have been stronger.
Why don't we just allow pushing?
How much pushing? Yeah.
I mean, what's the problem with pushing? I mean, it's always worked. Pushing has always worked to sort someone out. To get someone out of the way if you need to get them out of the way. I'm completely for pushing, and it will solve this problem, you know, perfectly. Like if it's a nice push, then good.
Though, isn't there? There's a big difference between pushing somebody when their feet are on the ground and when they're in the air.
Yeah.
Now, what Kolomwani did, he had his hand on the back of what's his name, Gabriel. And when his feet were still on the ground. The one yesterday, they were actually both jumping in the air, and that's when the push came. Now, when you're in the air, there's absolutely no control. You can't do anything about it. And in fact, you talk about allowing pushing, but that would actually be given as a foul, a penalty in rugby. You're not allowed to play the player in the air. So there's a big difference between when they're on the ground and when they're in the air. And that's why yesterday's, I thought, would have no problem being scrubbed out as a goal, because it was a clear foul. Because Romero was already in the air.
That's a great That's a great addendum to my new rule, Marcel. Yeah. If you're
So
in
we're
the
gonna have
air,
we're gonna have the Wenger offside rule and the Bewley pushing in the box rule. Is that the way it's gonna go now?
I think the problem is the referees union are a bunch of twats. All of them.
Yeah.
They cover for each
Speak your
other.
mind, eh? Don't mince
They're
your
like
words.
they're like politicians. And it doesn't matter what the outcome is, they find a way to spin it to justify their actions. And they actually should be charged with bringing the game into disrepute and making people actually have conversations like how the referees bent. And it brings the game into disrepute. But you just sit there and you watch some of the stuff, and they come in and they pat each other on the back and cover for each other. Might as well be Washington.
Good point.
I think there's a significant problem with refereeing of games right now as a whole, because what we're seeing is we're seeing effectively rugby tactics being played on football pitches at free kicks and corners. Right, lots of pushing, lots of shoving. People running in lines to create space. I've got no problem with people moving intelligently to create space and avoid markers and things like that. But when you're deliberately running a defender into a goalkeeper, or you run up to a goalkeeper and you push him right as he's getting set before a corner's taken, for me, that's a foul. That should not be allowed. Right. And they did say they were going to cut down on that kind of thing, and they've never done it. And they still continue. And this isn't just a Tottenham thing. This is every single game. There's a reason why people are now talking about meat wall football, because in the Chelsea-Arsenal game yesterday, there were 2 goals that were scored from free kicks or corners. And it's just down to people putting up a great big wall of meat in front of the goalkeeper and somebody getting a head on it. It's not clever. It's not fun.
Arnie Schlott said today that the game was the Premier League was not the league that it used to be, where you'd watch it for the quality of the football.
Yeah.
Actually, now it's just become a meat market, like you're saying, Stu, and it's just it's been encouraged to do that. It's been encouraged to go that way, and Arnie Slott's now like, yeah, this is just the way it is. But it will come. Cyclical. I'm sure it'll come and go. But the whole, the throw-in thing. Whenever I see Drăgușin going over and taking a long throw, I'm like, first of all, that's taken 30 seconds out of our flow, and also you can't even clear the penalty box. What are you doing taking? Drăgușin's the worst at that. I'd rather Vicario got his gloves on it. Seriously.
With Vicario going up for corners now, it's maybe that's going to happen soon enough. Who knows?
Kevin Danso can rifle in one real nicely.
He can, but we've made one chance from it all season.
He's got a bullet.
We've made one chance from it all season long with these long throws, and it's been a staple tactic of ours. It just doesn't work. I know it's going back some time now, but back when Pochettino was in charge, we would get the ball and we would have set moves and set plays. People would move, that person goes forward, that person goes away, and then they reverse, and the ball would be moved on quickly, right? The throw-in taker would get the ball and he'd have it out of his hands within 5 or 10 seconds. Right, and the game would keep moving. And now, as you say, it's 30, 45 seconds, something like that, while they go up, get the ball, dry their hands on the shirt or a towel if they've been given one, and then ping the ball in or just gently loop it overhead if it's Radu Drăgușin. It just doesn't work. It's never worked for us this season, and it doesn't work for most clubs. There are very few clubs that actually make a good use of a long throw, because there are very few players that can whip the ball in with that low trajectory that actually works.
It was Thomas Frank's long throwing auditions that did it. Everybody got giddy about how far they could throw the ball. Bergwijn got in on it as well. Just got all excited about a competition. And
unfortunately, that was potentially the start of competitions that we lose, because only one person won that and everybody else was a loser. And we just seem to have carried on in that way.
I got a competition that they can get excited about. It's called the Premier League. They should get excited about that. Try putting the same amount of effort in. Be great. They've got 10 games. Let's see.
Kevin Danso probably win that as well.
It's good having him back, to be honest. I think he's been our best defender this year.
And what did everyone think about Igor Tudor coming out and saying this is a home ref? I thought it was about bloody time someone said something.
Absolutely,
because we've been
100%.
calling for it to happen so long. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to get banned now.
He's on a safe wicket, really, isn't he? Because he's only here for a few weeks,
Yeah,
and then he's off again, so he can say what he likes. He's not gonna. It doesn't matter to him who he upsets, does it? I suppose.
No, and the Frank should be paying the club should be paying all of his fines. So if he's working in the best interest of the club, £30,000 fine. Okay, the club's going to take care of that. As A says, the only risk is he gets suspended for a match or something like that. But then they're going to give him a warning first. They're not going to suspend him for the first offence. But then again, this is the Premier League, and they make some bizarre decisions. Like, was it yesterday during the game they put out a tweet or a little video about Vicario's long free kick that went too far, and they were like, "Yep, as on the training ground." I was like, "This is the Premier League we're talking about. The Premier League should not be getting involved in banter or taking the piss out of a player who's under a little bit of pressure."
Why not?
Because they're a governing body. They shouldn't be getting involved in that kind of thing. You wouldn't see the IOC going, making a comment about somebody falling over during a skiing competition, would you? I mean, not going to happen.
Yeah,
They're above that. That's what the Premier League's supposed to be.
I think the bigger issue for me is that they're all about player welfare and mentality and mental things, and then you got a Oak that's struggling, so you put him on social media, put him on blast, and you make it more difficult for him. And you get
Second
more
time in 2 weeks as well, because during the Arsenal game they did a similar thing where they took the video of him coming out and heading the ball, and they were like, what is going on here? So it's the second time in 2 weeks they've done that.
Yeah,
and it's not just in poor taste, it's just a bad idea for any governing body to be trying to get involved in banter, I think.
Yeah.
Well, they put someone in charge of social media because they need some kind of visibility. I get it with clubs and everything, but you obviously can't do that with the governing body. So, maybe they should take, I don't know, maybe they should pay more attention to, things that are actually important, like the rugby scrums that are happening at every corner, instead of, taking the piss out of everybody.
Yes, indeed.
So
go on, Austin.
I was just going to say, when Harry was playing for us, nearly every corner he'd get wrestled to the ground, and I don't think we got one penalty for it at all.
And we're the only side in the Premier League to have not been given a penalty this season, I believe. So it's. I'm not saying there's an agenda against us. I mean, that's tinfoil hat territory, but I mean, it genuinely sometimes does feel as though we're being refereed differently.
Well,
I just wonder if some games, when with the reviewing bodies, whether the games should be anonymized, so you see the game, and you don't know which team is which, so that when they make a decision, it's made on the quality of the decision rather than which team is which.
Yeah, possibly.
Stu, you're a stats guy. If I had to give you stats that you had no penalties the entire season, you get the most cards per foul for the entire Premier League.
Yeah.
And then you have the Ekitike, Gabriel, and now this incident, and you have it replayed for you. Whether it's tin foil hats or not, it's hard not to look at the stats and say, oops, whether it's conscious or not is another reason. Another matter, sorry. Doesn't look good. Like I said, all the referees are twats. You can do it.
Do you think there's any chance of Igor Tudor being sacked?
No. I can't see it. I can't see it. I mean, you brought the guy in to do a job. He can't. And people are saying they should get rid of him now. I mean, he's played 2 matches. He's not really had a chance to play against the side who had a good chance.
Has anything changed? And it wasn't at the point.
I think we've seen some green shoots. Not a lot, but we've seen some green shoots.
It better be
It's difficult. It's difficult. I did ask the question earlier today: are Spurs a warm weather team? Because we've won nothing over the winter period. As soon as the weather got cold, the results went to shit unless we were in sunny Europe. So, it's maybe with the weather starting to get better in London, we're going to see an uptick in results, hopefully starting on Thursday. But I genuinely think Thursday has become more and more important. That Crystal Palace game now is basically must win, because if we can't beat Crystal Palace side who are going to be without their main defender, Maxence Lacroix, who got suspended after being sent off in the last game. Gahey's gone now. They didn't really bring anyone to replace him properly. If we can't go and get a result against them, I mean, and I'm saying a result, I would like to see a win, but a point at the very, very least. If we can't get a result against them, we're going to have real problems for the rest of the season, because we've got some winnable matches, but also some difficult matches. Sunderland will not be easy. Brighton will not be easy, because considering it's at home and our home form is awful. Yeah,
so
go on,
the one thing you'll say about Glasnow's teams is that they're organized, and that they well drilled. Where it doesn't matter who's playing, they're generally well organized, like for Silver's Fulham. And that means they have patterns of play, and they look the way we press and the way we play. And yeah, we're gonna struggle against them. We need something, but it's going to be a struggle, because they're a well-organized team. They're not going to give up, I think, too many chances. I set up against Spurs. I think you soak up pressure, and then they, you look at our team. There's spaces when you break, and it's easy to get beyond the press and soak up a bit of pressure, hit us on the break. That's what they set up for. I'm dreading their Sa running at us, to be honest, and Wharton giving him those passes. It's a sad state of affairs that we're worried about these average players, but it's true.
Wharton's a good player. I don't think he's as on top form at the moment, but he's still a good player. Looking ahead to that Palace game, okay, looking at the side that finished the last match, the players who were on the pitch, and we actually saw some heart, some desire at the end of the match. Who is the first name? I want to go around the table. Who is the first name on that team sheet for you? Start with Charlie.
Who was the first name on the team sheet?
First name on the team sheet for the Crystal Palace game.
Probably.
Right, we're coming back to Charlie.
You guys go ahead.
Right, A. Who have you got? Who have you got? First name on the team sheet.
Richie.
All right, Austin.
I was actually going to say Richie. A. Yeah.
Right, so Charlie and A both gone for Richie. Austin.
No, I didn't say. You gave me a chance. You guys go ahead.
We'll come back to you. All right.
In terms of heart and performance, Richie.
Yeah. Ash.
I was going to say Gareth Bale, but I guess he can't come back.
Ash, is he Welsh?
Yeah, happy belated St. David's Day to all.
How about Ben Davies?
Listen, even when he's shit, Richie always puts himself about. He always puts in a shift. He wants to start for Brazil in the World Cup. The guy is going to, unless he breaks down, is going to put a shift in every game. So just for that, I love the guy. And he is our top scorer this season. So definitely Richie.
All right, Marcel.
Controversial, I say Sousa. The reason being,
Sousa's
the left back, he looks good, and it would stop anyone else being put in that position.
Sousa's got to be in the discussion, I think, and for me, he'd certainly start. But I'm going Richie as well, mainly for the reason that we don't have many players who are used to being in a relegation fight, and Richarlison is about the only one who has that experience from his time at Watford and Everton. So yeah, Richie for me. Charlie.
Well,
changing your mind?
It's going to be different and go for Tell, because I don't think there's any other controversial picks left, to be honest. Yeah, I think Tell. He's flattering to deceive big time. This guy, like he comes up, he chips in with the odd goal, but then he gets a chance. And then he doesn't really do much with it. And there's a good player in there somewhere. There's a very, very good player in Matis Tell. I just don't know if it's Spurs ruling him or, obviously Bayern were happy to let him go. And But and also with Odebear as well, it's just something is not getting the best out of these young players. Fingers crossed we can stay up, and one of De Zerbi or Poch or whoever comes in next season can get the best out of these young guys. Tell.
Yeah. The thing is with
Actually,
Tell
I've changed
is
my
that most
mind.
of the time under Thomas Frank, he was
Yeah.
played as a striker. He is not a striker. He's out position. I don't think he's a striker.
Austin,
much
you change your
better
mind.
out
Who are you
there.
going with instead?
Archie Gray.
Archie, where?
I
What
think
position?
Archie Gray puts in 100% whatever position he plays in. I think he's captain material. In a couple of years' time, obviously he's only 19, but I'm so impressed with that lad. He is a really, really good player.
So Archie Gray and
Archie
goal,
Gray.
Austin.
Archie Gray should not be playing left wing back. I mean,
No, I agree.
He wants to come in on his right too often. This is the thing. If you're playing three at the back, you've got to have attacking fullbacks or wing backs, whatever you want to call it. They've got to provide the width. And if you've got one of those guys is cutting in and playing off their other foot, so you want somebody on the left playing with their left foot, you want somebody on the right playing with their right foot. If you've got them cutting and playing with your left wing back playing with the right foot, it just brings everything in tight together and just makes it just doesn't work. You need to have that space. Ash, you're waving your hand around. You got something to say?
Oh no, I was actually busy on my phone. No,
He's on his phone. All right.
No. What do I have to say? No, yeah, right. All of those above. Yeah, and as I like the thing about Gray, it'd be great to have him just put him in the midfield. We're missing Bergvall, because just these young, energetic guys, they put a shift in, and we're missing. And Sousa, why not? For the couple of minutes I saw, he looked kind of good and progressive. So did Tal on the left side over there, I just wonder if there's just so much pressure on Tudor that he just won't experiment. He just won't bring those young guys in because the pressure must be unbelievable. Oh, by the way, Cardiff is leading, is at the top of the table in League One. I used to go to see international games in Cardiff. I went to school in Cardiff. This producer I'm working with right now is from Cardiff and is a Cardiff City fan. There is a possibility, and I've been imagining it, that Tottenham could be playing at Cardiff City Stadium next season if one goes up and one goes down and we meet in the middle.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
I know, but it could.
Okay, right. We'll get a similar question. Who is the one player you do not want to see? This current fit player you do not want to see on the team sheet, the starting 11 for the next match. Let's go round the other way. Marcel, we're going to come to you first. Bissouma, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Ash.
He's got no heart.
Yeah,
No
I totally agree with Marcel. Bissouma.
You do wonder whether or not it's worth playing someone who has effectively no dog in the fight because he's out of contract at the end of the season, whatever happens. So, yeah. Austin.
I have no idea. I've never been one to sort of have a player that I don't want to be in the team. I want every player to be in the team and I want them to do well. So I can't answer that question.
All right.
I won't answer that question.
You refuse.
I refuse.
Taking the fifth. All right. Okay. Who have you got? Anyone?
Yeah. I think Gallagher needs a rest.
I agree. Gallagher.
Gallagher even playing for us.
Charlie?
I'm going to go for Archie Gray.
Just to piss off Austin.
Just to watch Austin's face when I said that.
I'll get the girls onto you again, Charlie.
Only just got them off, to be honest. So, But yeah, no, Archie's good. I just don't think he's obviously trying very hard, but where's he supposed to play? Middle midfield. I mean, Palhinha's playing in defence right now, still, isn't he? What we playing back four yesterday? At some
back
point.
four. Palhinha wasn't playing in defence.
Right, I guess he was playing in
Yeah.
midfield then, wasn't he? I don't understand how we can't. I don't understand. This is a great team, good team of players. But, each player is a good player. I don't understand how we're not creating. I just don't understand it. For me, whatever happens needs to be addressed in that 8-10 area. I would love to see. I mean, it's a bit of a long shot, but I would love to see someone new like Luca Williams-Barnett, and he wasn't even on the subs bench the other day. I'd love to see him come on. I'd just love to see him do something. Open something up, get some excitement going. I haven't seen anything different in the last 6 months of us at all. I haven't seen anything exciting at all. I've seen some half good counterattacks, but other than that, nothing at all. And those three up front, we've got Richie, Solanke, and Colomwani, who seems to be, he seems to be able to put it in the back of the net when he wants to.
They're all internationals as well. Jesus,
Yeah, I mean, look, we've got some serious talent up front. I just don't get why we're not even creating chances. It's unforgivable, and I don't know what these young kids are looking at in the academy, just going like, just fucking throw me in, coach, because just give us on a shot somehow. I know it's a massive step up, but sometimes I don't know. Desperate times, desperate measures.
What Charlie's point, and Stu, you know about this. 3 of the guys who could actually make a difference are not even with us. Mikey Moore, Devine, and Vuskovic. They are all doing well in their loan spells right now, all of them, and could all contribute, and they're all unavailable.
I think Divine to a lesser point because he's starting as a sub for most games right now. But Vuskovic is, I think Vuskovic statistically is the best defender in Germany right now. Mikey Moore is playing through the centre. He's playing as a number 10. He's doing very well, and seems to be coping with proper men's football up there in Scotland. But on Luca Williams-Barnett, and while we're at it, Junai Byfield, neither of them were on the bench, but also neither of them were playing in the under-21s game, which was taking place at exactly the same time. And I don't understand, because there's been no notification of them having an illness or being injured or anything like that. And Junai Byfield's supposed to be part of the first team now. He's supposed to be training with the first team. So you thought there'd be some kind of notification. Luca Williams-Barnett, I think, is going to be a fantastic player. I worry whether it's right to throw him into this kind of cauldron. But at the same time, he looks like he's got the temperament that might be able to deal with it. And we need someone who can pass the ball and do something a little bit unusual and get it to somebody in a forward position,
right?
Because we've really struggled to do that.
But I mean, also this was happening back in December, almost like the identical, patterns of play throughout our whole match.
Yeah.
We were not turning up in the first half, and in the second half we somehow got together and we had a run about, and we almost nabbed something. Nothing's changed. It's so odd. It's like they almost need the pressure of failure in order to actually do something about it, and that is unsustainable. That's just, you can't operate like that. You can't not get yourself up for the start of a match and go in 2-0 down every game. The last time we actually overhauled a 1-0 lead was in 2024, November 2024, and then the last time we overhauled a 2-0 lead was last century. So it's like, it's brutal like that. We're not that team, and we haven't been for a long time. So, something's got to change.
Can I ask what you guys, because he's supposed to be the linchpin for our attacking, can I ask what your general consensus is on Xavi's contribution this season, and what has been the problem, or why hasn't he risen to the occasion?
I will refer back to my previous answer. I think our movement is appalling, and I don't think we actually practice attacking moves. And, David last week was saying, I was saying that Xavi was receiving the ball in good areas, getting into space and trying to pass it forward. And David was like, oh, but he lost the ball every time. Yeah, he lost the ball every time because our movement was awful. and the ball wouldn't stick with any of our players. And I still think that's the issue. I saw good stuff again from Xavi, but unfortunately, the players around him just don't seem to be on the same wavelength.
No.
In some ways, it kind of reminds me of when we had Sergei Rebrov. Sergei Rebrov was clearly a good player, but he just wasn't on the same wavelength with the other players. He only seemed to be on that wavelength with one other player, and that was Stevie Carr. When Stevie Carr was fit and on the field, you'd see some nice interplay between them, but Stevie Carr spent like 78% or something of that season injured, and so they very rarely got to play together. So just
he's right well today, wouldn't he?
Sergei Rebrov.
No, Carr being injured, he'd fit in well today.
He'd fit in well today, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sadly.
I sort of
Typical bugger
disagree.
Marcel.
Go on, you disagree with me. Go on.
Yeah, I think he's come here expecting to be a star of the Premier League and hasn't really prepared to be in a relegation dogfight. He looks lost and bereft of confidence. I didn't see him looking for things where people were not on his wavelength. I thought he was absent. I still think he's very talented, but I think like some of these youngsters, you learn something about them during these hard times. But if you really want them to develop and shine, there's a way that you bring them through. And I think he would have done really well if he was added to like the Poch team later on, in the middle of it. But I'm not on his case, but I think he's been poor. I think he's struggling. I think he has a lot of talent, but I think at the moment he shouldn't start. He should come on when the game is stretched and he's got a little bit more time to express himself. From the start, it's not helping him at the moment.
Hey, could I ask if that's the case, who would you start in that number 10 position then?
No, I put my team up already. I'd go the goalkeeper. They look like Victor Kingsley to me. It doesn't make a difference, but I'll have a back five of Drăgușin, Dansu, and Van de Ven, Sosa and Porro on the wing backs. I would have two strikers, and I have in the midfield it'll be
who are the two strikers? Who are the two strikers?
Solanke and Richie.
Okay.
Both of them. And Basuma, Sa, and Gray in the middle to do a hell of a lot of running.
So there's no number 10 released?
No, because our midfield is shit. We've got to find another way to win. And that's bypassing the midfield. It's not going to be pretty, but it needs to be something else to get us out of trouble. Get guys on their right side that can cross, put big guys up front that will harass the crap out of guys in defense, actually make it difficult. And they can win crosses and headers and put themselves about and give Richie a chance. Can do it. But also when you have, if they do what they're supposed to, in the later stages of the game, you've got Xavi, Tel, and Moani to come on, on a stretch game, not where they're getting
against tired legs.
Against tired legs, where they're getting pummeled and they losing a lot of energy towards the end of the game. I think that'll be the best use of our resources. Let me put it that way. And those three in the middle, lots of energy, and it should be less it's not that we're not going to pass it pretty, but I think we have to change things up. We're not passing through teams anyway.
I think certainly against Crystal Palace, having a hard-working, workman-like midfield would not be the worst thing. On the other side, I really don't want to see Palhinha in our side again. I think he's just negative overall. He doesn't help us in attack. He doesn't seem to help us in defense. He was all over the shop yesterday, all over the place. He didn't seem to know whether he was defending or whether he was attacking. He was pushing up high and then getting caught out of position. It just didn't work for me. So I hope to never see him in a Spurs shirt again, frankly.
Palhinha.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Controversial.
Big call, man.
Yeah,
You reckon that's controversial?
No, I just think the problems we have are so much bigger than Palhinha.
Absolutely.
I think that,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I think that anybody looking at Tottenham right now can tell there's good players in that team. There is something really, really rotten underneath the surface. The fast that comes out right now, sorry to like take this aside, but right now it's being, everyone's looking at Lange and Vinay, and it's a horrible visual. The optics of Lange and Vinay are terrible, and they are sort of safeguarding whatever rot is still going there. But Palhinha should be. I mean, it just goes to show just how this rot can spread, because someone like Palhinha is an absolute, he's a warrior. And so is Van de Ven, and they are being worn down into a pulp. These players, they've been worn, and all of them have been. I mean, Richie's probably the only one, because he's so precocious, who still has that edge. But everybody else seems to be so on eggshells. Palhinha as well, like he's made some mistakes. I don't know. I feel it's a tad harsh, Stu, but you're allowed your opinion, of course. But
yeah, I agree. Tad harsh. He's one of the few guys who plays with some guts and passion.
He might play with guts and passion, but he's all over the place, and I don't think he adds anything to our attack. And I think he just goes missing because he's trying to push up too high.
2 bicycle kicks this year, mate. What more do you want?
Yeah, no, he's got probably a lovely highlight reel. But that was when was his last assist or anything? He's there for defensive work, and yet he's not putting in the defensive work. Admittedly, I think he did a pretty good job when he was moved to that right-sided centre back. I think he did okay there. And
so it's a bit harsh there, Stu.
No, but I don't want to see him in midfield, and with our returning players, I'd rather not see him at all. But that's just me,
Yeah. I'd rather see him there than Basuma.
This is feeling personal.
I don't know.
It's feeling personal.
Basuma at least can
Basuma and Palhinha. Oh my god.
I know.
I don't know. I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted. I'll be honest. Let's take a very quick look. Let's go around the table, see what everybody thinks of the Crystal Palace game. Win, lose, or draw. What do we reckon we're going to do? We're going to start with Austin.
Win.
All right, Ash.
We better win.
All right, the 18.
I've got us down for a 2-1 win.
Okay, 2-1 is a scoreline we've seen a lot of this year. Marcel.
I think we're going to grind out a win, and it's going to open up a lot of people's minds. The pressure will be. We need this win, not just for the 3 points, but to take the pressure off. I think this whole thing, this hoodoo about not winning at home, we need to break that.
All right, and Charlie, what do you reckon?
4-0 Spurs.
4-0 Spurs. Charlie's feeling positive.
4-0 Spurs. Everything's just going to click. Everything, all the groundwork Thomas has put in. Thomas Frank.
How much of that vino have you had, buddy?
Well, you've got to laugh at some point, because honestly, I cannot believe how the state of affairs is that we're like, will we beat Palace at home? I mean, anyway.
Historically, they've been a side we've struggled against at times, but I think we're going to win this one. They're not in great form either. This is absolutely the kind of game you have to win if you're going to avoid relegation. We lose this one, things will look very, very bad. All right, so typically I would round this out by, thanking everybody for coming and good say, come on, you Spurs, etc. But tonight we'll just go with Charlie's original suggestion, and we're going to end the show with everything is fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's gonna be all right.
Just like While pundits just chuckle, ignore them alas. The cats chat shit. To the left and the right, we're taking a hit, so you know it's true. Hear the banter ignite. Raise your voice loud, shout it out tonight. The cats chat shit. We'll sing it again with a smile and a grin. Oh, here's to the boys, let's make it a trend. With a wink and a nudge, let the fun never end. Last week we claimed it'll be 5-0 for sure. Now we're debating if we'll score at the door. Did you see that last miss? What a fiery debate. As we pull up our chairs and we narrow our fates. Hot takes flying high, we're the kings of the pub. While the lads on the pitch just need a good rub. From the top of the table or right back to the ground, you'll hear us all chatting that familiar sound. The cats chat shit. To the left and the right, we're taking a hit, so you know it's true. Hear the banter ignite. Raise your voice loud, shout it out tonight. The cats chat shit. We'll sing it again with a smile and a grin. Oh, here's to the boys, let's make it a trend. With a wink and a nudge, let the fun never end. We'll argue with a passion like it's do or die. With half-baked logic and a mischievous eye. Trust me, mate, we'll climb up the ranks.